Testing, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually streaming now.
Nice.
But
Oh, you can hear it up here.
yeah, I'm just doing the live feed. What else? I didn't plug in the remote. People really want to use that. I was supposed to use the arrows and the keyboard, unless I use a wand or somewhere. Unless I should probably plug it in. It's there in case it was leaving. And then we also have the, in case it needs to be adjusted, the remote volume for the, someone's got that. All right, I need to go.
Can I start right at 8?
I think so.
Yeah, there's three people flying. But yes.
I just switched it to mirroring, so we gotta just switch it back. No worries. So we gotta switch it up. So I'm gonna alt tab over to that. I'm gonna change it to extend. And let's see. There's that. You want to keep it though, otherwise we'll go back to the other ones. Leave that up just in case it's gonna be hard. And get back to your, yeah, it's up already. You just see it on that screen right now. And it's a little tricky, and there's a little bit of delay. So you should double click it up. There we go. Yeah, so use the drop down. So you can do that. You'll have to drag it over afterwards, but very first. I can get rid of the address bar. It's basically the screen. I'd like to maybe.
I used to hold those. Did.
You can Avery the camera and stuff. She have it over here.
It's here right now. So I haven't even pulled it out yet.
I have to go from top to top.
Let's see. Yeah, that's me.
If it's just here,
She might have forgotten.
put it over somewhere in the back so she.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it at least.
Is there a card there?
What?
Is there a card in it?
Yeah, there's a card.
Here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Lily.
Here.
Lily.
I assume it's you. Don't do that. You can't foresee that. You seniors can't. Oh! I know, but they're like,
No, I just want
I'm loving this new
We good, John James?
Yeah, so let's see. Hey, are you good?
Well, we are trying to start on Thursday and then
Yeah.
I am.
Where'd Lacey go? Oh, you ready? All right, thanks for coming, everyone. First up, we have Lacey.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. So for my senior project, I chose social media marketing. So I chose marketing because I'm majoring in business in college, and there's so many different ways to apply this and for future opportunities within the business field. So last year I did my junior project on wedding planning and on-site coordinating, but this year I decided to switch gears and focus on marketing. After this internship, I realized I wasn't really passionate about wedding planning as I am about social media and photography. So for my driving question, I chose, how does social media marketing impact the development and success of small businesses? So I separated my research paper into 3 strands: how small businesses grow using social media marketing, the importance and value, and the different types of marketing. In my first strand, I focus on exposure, website traffic, and communication. Exposure is one of the main purposes for marketing, and because of our advanced technology, posting on social media reaches many different audiences and therefore leads to more brand awareness. Marketing also drives customers to your company website. On social media, there are many features and tools that allow you to put your contact information and website information, so it makes it really easy for consumers to reach the website. It is also a great outlet for communication between owners and consumers. It creates brand loyalty and relationships and makes others more likely to recommend a brand to another. In my second strand, I researched why it's important for small businesses to use marketing. And first, setting a budget allows teams to be organized and create specific plans for their marketing team. It also creates new opportunities for small businesses to grow and succeed within the industry. And lastly, because of new technology, businesses are able to utilize new tools that can be used to track interest in posts on social platforms. And for my last strand, I researched 3 of the main types of marketing. Content creation, which is producing content that is specific to your target audience. Paid ads, which are ads that companies can buy to increase brand awareness and attract more traffic to their platforms. And influencer marketing, which is when businesses send products to someone who has a high following on social media, and they give their opinion on the product and the brand, which then leads to more brand awareness. So I did my internship with Peggy Lynn Spiker, and she's a realtor on Maui. I was her content creation specialist, and I posted on her personal Instagram account. So one thing I would have changed was that I wish I actually got to take the photos and take the content, because then I would have been able to have like the full experience. But at first she didn't have any business tools on her account to track her following and impressions, so I added that. And because our internship only lasted about 2 to 3 weeks, our main marketing goal was to get more impressions rather than followers. So this is what her page looked like before. It's not much of a change, but this is the content that she gave me, and we created some reels and posts together, and we came up with specific captions and hashtags that would bring even more impressions. So after looking at the post insights, I noticed that most of the impressions were coming from the home page and the hashtags. So on the left, you can see she had about 280 impressions, and most were coming from the home page. So that means that it was being suggested to non-followers as well as followers. In the middle, you can see that she had about 500 accounts reach that post, and about half were non-followers compared to followers. This one, she only had about 160 accounts reaching, but she had 119 non-followers versus 40 followers. So as you can see, the hashtags and the captions were working like we wanted them to. I also tracked the accounts that came across her page over the span of the internship. After a few days, she had about 884, then it went up to 1.1K, 1.2K, 2.2K, and more recently, 2.9K. So here are some more stats that show her follower growth and impressions based on my postings. So she had about a 6,000% increase in content interactions. And she also had about a 3,000% increase in reel interactions. Reels are videos, by the way. I also discovered her target market and who's actually interested in her lifestyle and what she posts. So as you can see, it's mostly ages 40 to 50, 63% women, 36% men. And she also had about a 5% increase in following over the span of the internship. So for my product, I created a marketing plan that just described what our plan was and our goals for her account. Well, that's awkward.
Because you're signed in on the other one.
That's awkward. Okay. So basically what it said was there was an executive summary, and it just summarizes what content we used, which was mostly lifestyle, like sunsets, obviously her dogs, as you can see. And I created like edits of her videos that she sent of her homes. I also had a target market, which is mostly first-time home buyers moving to Hawaii with their families. Also her marketing objectives and just her stats as well I put in. And also I put a chart. Maybe I can add it at the end. But for my future plans, I'll be attending the University of Miami, majoring in marketing. Thank you. I can print out a page for both of you to see.
You gonna plug that in? Or are you gonna share it to the?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want? You want the notes on the screen?
Bottom of the thing. Sounds like notes.
Oh, yeah. Let's plug that one in and see what happens. Or are you gonna share it with presentations?
Are you on, is there a presentation email?
Yeah, presentations at Maui. Correct.
Yeah. Presentation,
Yeah, presentation at Maui. Correct.
lovely.
Congenital heart defects.
That's not what
Senior project.
It's a very loose presentation. It's not thoroughly scripted.
All good, Avery?
Eddie, you looking good in that shirt today, buddy.
I second that.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, but when we do slideshow, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see who's speaking up. Do you wanna just?
I'll just pull my computer, yeah.
And put it next to this one?
Less efficient.
This plug is real sensitive, so don't bump it, okay?
Is there a button?
Just press the space bar on both. Good. All right, Andy Weber, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. I decided to do my senior project on focusing on why I think the world has a global shortage of nurses, and then dive into that specifically within the United States. So these are the objectives of my presentation. I'll share my driving question, more issues, and then internship, and then my findings doing my internship as well as my research. So 13 million, that's how many global health professionals, medical workers were missing post coronavirus pandemic. Basically, why this number is so interesting is because I'll get into why the population of healthcare workers varies year to year and the things that affect that. Last year, I did a presentation on more the mental health and cognitive brain development of online cyber lifestyles that us kids live and how that affects us. But this year I wanted to do something that I can pursue in my future, so I decided to go more into a standard route of healthcare. So my driving question was, what factors contribute to the current shortages of nurses and physicians in the 21st century? So pretty straightforward. What are those factors? So my 3 strands, if you want to call it that. So entry to programs, outbreak trauma, then the burnout. So how burnout and outbreak trauma causes people to leave, and then population pyramids, and then the fact that America as a whole is, we have an aging population. I'll get into what that means basically. So entry, basically, problem is that in America, education is very expensive, and because of that, nursing programs are no longer profitable, or even you can't break even by running a nursing program. So that's one of the reasons that many public institutions of tertiary education in the United States are cutting their programs, or they're basically very selective, those that are still offering it. So because of that, it's very hard to gain entry to some of these programs. And so the programs themselves are very hard. So even if you're into the program, it doesn't ensure that you'll pass, basically. So outbreak, trauma, and burnout, pretty straightforward. So when things like SARS, coronavirus, H1Z1, all those things, Ebola. So when these things come through a community, they cause a lot of, I was going to say trauma, and, as mentioned, there are every time a disease like that comes into a community, there's a mass exodus of healthcare workers that leave the community. They'll go into re-education or retire early. So that's very standard. A lot of the time, people who are in medical professions diversify their wealth, so they'll then rely on things like property or stocks and stuff like that. So aging population, this is my favorite one because I love like macroeconomics and how basically population, so basically this population